Hey guys, our devotion today is from 1 Kings chapter 15. Before we get into that, I want to remind you today we are in prayer for Ronnie and Janet Carpenter. And tomorrow, on Saturday, we are going to be in prayer for the Clark family, Chad and Marglin, and Canaan and Riley. So let's remember to be in prayer for them. We get to see in this chapter some more of the kings who are going to come to pass for Israel and Judah, and for the most part, especially for Israel, we see that downward trend as they continue just to go deeper and deeper into darkness. But I think what really stood out to me and what I want to focus on is the story about King Asa, because it's really just a breath of fresh air, isn't it? Finally, we get to see a king who loves the Lord and wants to do what pleases God. And it doesn't seem like King Asa messes around very much. He takes care of business. He gets rid of a lot of the idol worship and the practices. He gets rid of the temple prostitutes that are going on. And he begins to clean house. I think one of the most interesting things here is that when it talks about the Queen Mother and how the Queen Mother had made this big idol, I guess, or statue or something, and King Asa had that torn down, and it says that he burned that sucker up. And I'm pretty sure that when it's talking about the Queen Mother, it's talking about, I think it was his grandmother. And so, when he's not messing around if he's willing to mess in Grandma's business. Grandma built this idol. He's going to take it and burn it up. I think about just him in that position, because for a while now, I mean, it's been several decades of idol worship going on, and the practices that Judah and in Jerusalem they had become entrenched in, this sin and this darkness. And I very seriously doubt that there were a lot of people that understood what King Asa was doing or why he was doing it. There was probably very few people who supported him in what he was doing. I could be wrong, I'm not sure, but I just think after all this time and how entrenched it already seemed to be, that he probably had some significant opposition to the reforms. And what got into him? How did he even know? I mean, it obviously wasn't taught to him by his father how it was supposed to be, but whatever happened, God spoke to King Asa's heart, and he has these reforms. And I think what stands out to me the most about that is that he doesn't seem to care what anybody thinks except for God. He doesn't even care what Grandma thinks. He's going to do what's right. And of course, unfortunately, we also see still that part in there about there were some of the high places that were left that he didn't take down, and there's still that little bit of sin that's left over. That's, again, it's gonna come back later. It's gonna fester. It's gonna grow a deeper root. But anyways, I think I appreciate the fact that he was doing what pleased God, not what pleased people. I think that's an important message for us today. Lord, what do you want me to do? Help me to be more concerned with what you think about me than what people think about me, even if it's Grandma, even if the ones that I love the most don't understand. Help me to be obedient to you. And I think when we walk in obedience to God, sometimes we are going to offend people, not maliciously, but sometimes they're not going to understand our priorities. We may prioritize what God wants, and other people might perceive that as us not caring about them and what they want, when it couldn't be further from the truth. We love God first, and he causes us to love other people, but we put what he wants and his priorities first because we understand that's what's best. So I'm thankful, as always, for this chapter today and what it teaches us, and pray that it was a blessing to you guys. God bless.